Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor, and we're going to do the NXT review for 411, and of course, the show starts with a little recap. I call it my What Had Happened cam. So what had happened, and they go back and review through. So they go back through, and it pretty much is leading up to Mello and Trick showing up. And they come out, and they're setting up for a fatal four-way. And the winner is going to get the shot at Mello at spring break. And so the first person that has a spot, because Mello's pulling a little rank and using a little collateral that he has, is Braun. He tells Braun that you will be in this match. And then before he can announce who's going to be in, you have Dragon Lee that shows up. And Dragon Lee, look, man, him and Axiom, as far as masked wrestlers go, I go back to Mil Mascaras. I've got Mr. Wrestling 2, and there's a lot of others. And then in my territory, in the Memphis territory back in the day, you would have guys come through under a mask so they could stay in the territory. And you had, at one time, you had Brian Daniel, if you want to call him. Yes. You had him under a mask. You had Eddie Guerrero under a mask. You had Hector. You had Javi. You had who am I leaving out? I mean, there were several different ones that come through under a mask. It wasn't always like, I can remember at a time Dusty Rhodes losing a loser leave town or something to that effect, and he came back as the Midnight Rider, I believe. And so that's a whole nother show. But anyway, Dragon Lee has been very, very impressive. So you got him coming out saying that he wants the best, and if he has the belt, then he must be the best. And then you've got, of course, JD McDonald. He's got to show up in Old School. And I do like the fact that Mello, kind of to his face, made a leprechaun joke. So that was kind of cool. And then you got the guy that always seems to steal the show, and that's Grayson Waller. And and he, we're told Braun's 4, so there is your fatal four-way for a chance at Mello at spring break. But then, all right, we got to do this. We're going to the ladies tag team title match, so let me get in character here. We're doing a soap opera now, and it's Valen Henry and Kiana James in Who Stole Jensen's Heart. And in this episode, we have Miss Henry and Miss James arguing. And all of a sudden, Briggs shows up, and he's trying to get them in character and in tune for their upcoming match. Oh, but then we find out that Jensen is not there because he is upset, and he will not be there in their title match. with Aladon and Albefire. All right, that's all I got on that one. But yeah, you got the soap opera. It keeps going on that. So you've got the tag match, which Miss Dawn, Miss Fire, freaking great rock stars. These ladies put on a hell of a match, and they could do it in any era. I mean, I truly mean that. But they're both great. And Kiana is right up there. She's getting there, and Valen's coming along. And I said, Miss Dawn and Miss Fire great, and Kiana's coming on. I have to say, one thing I saw with Valen Henry is, and I think it's from, in my humble opinion, I think it's from repetition. I think it may be from overtraining. But I remember being told when you give a bill or you give a hip toss, you don't just put your arm up under their arm and you give a little. No, you put your arm deep, and that way when they do go and they jump, you can push them, you can project them. And that's a deep, it continues the move. It looks great from 14 rows up. When somebody paid their hard-earned money up, they want to see something that looked like they do to their little brother or something. And in her moves, she was releasing too early. And that usually is where I think it comes from overtraining. So she may be overtraining, and that's very correctable. But I did see it a few times in this match. But the match was okay. No, it wasn't. The match was subpar. And, yeah. And then they have, for the drama for the soap opera, they have Jensen showing up late, and he comes in and grabs the purse. Because remember last week he carried the purse to the actual ring. So, Jensen jumps in the ring, tries to give her the purse. I don't know where to go with this. Look, it's terrible. He jumped in the ring, tried to give Valen the purse. She says no. And let me give you a little wrestling algebra. Insertion, male into female match, equaled squared to trying to project a weapon onto a unreceiving image. That would be B minus over. Okay, it's a lot of stuff, but it all equals out to this sucked. It just did. The ladies' match would be one thing that would be okay, but adding the aspect of Jensen coming in with the purse in the ring against two quality wrestlers. Now all right, so I've given this far too long. All right, so wrestling algebra, guy jumps in, tries to give purse to unwanting female. Female throws back. Guy pushes down friend. I don't know. Let's just go. All right, and they go from there to the. This is something else. All right, now years ago, we had an Australian wrestler come over, and he had a cup, and he had won a cup in Australia, and he brought it, and he defended it through our territory. And I think this is kind of maybe a throw off of that, but this is a Heritage Cup. He's the Heritage Cup champion. That is, let me make sure I kind of get his name right. Numar Da, I believe so. The Supernova. He talks a heck of a game, and he talks a game almost Bret Hart like, surgical. So hey, we will see where that goes. But then you've got Chase U, and they're going to do an MVP trophy presentation to Duke Hudson. That's right. And in between there, they keep having little things pop up like anybody know if Braun going to be in the match? So people are kind of wondering, scurrying. There's scuttlebutt. There's gossip around the water cooler. But they go into the Chase U MVP trophy presentation. All right, I'm not a great fan of this. I think it's, him getting a chance to almost say a couple cuss words. Hey, it's all comical. It's all good. And Mr. Chase, Andre Chase is okay in the ring. Duke is a big guy. He's got some great moves. He has picked up Hulk Hogan. I don't know why he's modeled anyway. All right, he has incorporated some Hulk-like moves in his repertoire. But they present him with the trophy, and everything looks cool. They're doing the whole little gig there, and then there's Braun Breaker. So now Braun shows up, and let's also notice because it was spotted to me, and I had several people that tweeted to me. He was in all black. That's right. He was doing his best Johnny Cash. He was a man in black. But anyway, he comes out, and all right, look, I normally I don't like to cuss a lot on this show, and I hope that kids can listen to this. I mean, I'm a father myself, but I have to warn everyone. Braun's changed a side, and tonight he dropped a bomb. So, all right, folks. All right. Go ahead and move your kids away and do what you got to do. But I'm just going to say this real quick. But Braun comes out and he said he didn't need any of these scumbags. That's right, scumbags. He doesn't need them. So he really went there. So that is what we got from the man in black. Braun comes out and he says, hey, look, the title was, it was weight on my shoulders. So, look, my part in that fatal four-way, don't want it. So Duke sent you the MVP. You take that. No, he didn't say it like that, but he said, hey, look, take the shot. So, and hey, look, Duke's looking at Mr. Chase and going, hey, it's one for you. Hey, I personally, he's going, yeah, I'm going to do it. And Braun's like, hey, look, there you go. And he goes to leave it. And then it seems to be a recurring theme. And then he turns around and springboards and does a spear, which Duke Hudson gets the heck out of the way. And he takes out Andre Chase. And Duke gets on out of there. And then Braun goes medieval again. He didn't bite a head off a bat or nothing like that, but he did tear the flag. That's right, Chase University's flag. He tore it in half. I don't know where we're going to go with that from folks. I can tell you where they went. They went straight into a promo with Gigi Dolan. And, everybody either has a house close by or has a friend that lives by a place with that house. You drive by and you're like, why is that house all boarded up? Did something happen there? You know that place that just looks a little creepy. Well, they found that place apparently down in Florida there, and they came and they put Gigi Dolan next to it, and she proceeds to tell us that she had bad parents, demons, and her and her brother fought the demons. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going through the notes, and she's got tattoos that show her travel path of getting out of that. And JCJ, she knew it, so she knew it, and she still stabbed her in the back. So we have that to come. All right. From there, we go to, this is going to make a few people laugh, but we actually go to close circuit TV footage that was captured outside of the training facility, or I'm guessing the training facility or the actual studios there in Florida. But pretty deadly. They just walk outside just to maybe partake in I'm sure these guys don't smoke a cigarette, so it was probably to eat a banana or a tropical fruit. But they walk outside the door, and like in many cases, in many commercial buildings, you have to have a fire door on your exit door. It is is by law. It is your fire department can shut you down. So they go through that door and they go out on the little porch there, and the door closes. So they, unbeknownst to them, the door is now locked. Well, apparently a car, an SUV, maybe a new SUV, pulls up when two gentlemen that presume that look a lot like Tony D and Stax get out with a crowbar and beat the crap out of them. So yeah, that happened, and then they go straight from there to not Big Body Javi. They introduce him Javi. They use his last name. I apologize. I can't think of it, because he's in a match with Eddie Thorpe. That this is not a squash match, of course, but it's a match to get Eddie Thorpe over. A Native American here, and you got to remember to take a name like Eddie Thorpe, to use the Thorpe name, look up Jim Thorpe, and I won't go into that. We're one of the greatest athletes of all time, and they're bringing, when they bring the little bit of the New Age native in, I mean, it makes me remember a Wahoo McDaniel or somebody like that. But this is a okay match. Look, Javi, Big Body. I'm just gonna call him Big Body, because Big Body, he makes himself look good in this match. I mean, the outcome. I mean, we all do, but you know how this is supposed to look. He does a pretty good deal in here. He makes Mr. Thorpe look good. At one point in time, Mr. Javi has got him up in like a Boston crab, and it's really kind of old school, the way Mr. Thorpe kind of rolled out of it. He would get it and then step over, and then when he did, Thorpe would keep his shoulders turning and his hips turning, so he was never able to set. And that's something I hadn't seen. Billy Robinson, and if you don't know who Billy Robinson is, just look up English wrestlers. Great old one to look at when you want to look at classical wrestling. But that was a little bit of that. But anyway, Mr. Thorpe takes the match, and but they have Damon Kemp come out, and he just kind of watching, man. He's just kind of standing there. So, hey, scouting, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But then they got old Tank Ledger. Remember Tank when he had those big battles of, when down in Texas he would, no, wait a minute, that ain't the same Tank. No. So Tank Ledger apparently is a new wrestler that they're bringing out of the security crew area. So apparently, good friends with Hank Walker, and so Hank and Tank connection, maybe. I don't know, but Gallus comes in and bullies him. He says he's getting ready for his first match, but not there yet. And they, Mark Coffey kind of, puts him into a deal. So that's a match. And then, of course, you've got, Dyad coming out, or you can say Schism, and they come out and they say, you want to bully somebody, try bullying us. So, so you got Schism there, but then you got the Creed brothers going, hey, look, we got the Gallus next, so you got a little something, which usually means three-way tag. So I don't know. And they had earlier done, Sol Ruca was doing an Instagram post with somebody promoting something, but it looked cool. And Tiffany showed up, kind of interrupted. But now we have the Tiffany Stratton. And I guess if they have Bad Bunny, she would be Bad Barbie or something like that. I don't know. But hey, look, say what you want to. She has the look. She has the athleticism. She is legit, guys. And Sol Ruca, whoo, man, this is just like bright light. Back in old days, people used to rent spotlights to do a big promotion. Well, and you would drive till you found the spotlight. Well, that's kind of what Sol Ruca is. And wow, they put on a great match. It's kind of like a gymnast versus a gymnast, you would think. But no, Tiffany, she's a great heel. They're giving her a good push. Maybe a little later, I could see Sol Ruca and Bro working together. Think about it. Sol Ruca and Bro. So maybe something in the future, but it was a good match. It was a really good match. I didn't like the last ending. Miss Stratton does win that, but man, it was a good match, guys. I would strongly suggest, there's 2 or 3 on here I would definitely go back and watch. And look, this Eddie Thorpe, this Mr. Thorpe, he looks like something coming up, but then they got to have scripts. Well, you got to have scripts. Well, y'all got to have scripts, but he got scripts. And he's talking about Axiom, and he going to expose, right? And then they do a quick little promo with Chase U. And, and Duke is saying that, hey, I'm going to take this university and put it on my broad, my large shoulders and take it to the promised land. You've even got Diamond Mine doing a little spot. They're wanting Gallus, and they're saying that they're going to get them. They're going to get them. Yeah. Then you then you have Cora Jade doing her spot. All right, now Miss Jade's been gone for a little while, and Cora's back, and they're gonna let her. She's got the boots on, so those boots are made for walking, and that's just what she'll do. And she starts in on all the other lady competitors, and she starts off in a listing order against Zoe Stark. And then she brings Roxanne into that, and she politely tells every one of them. It's kind of like when somebody says to you, I don't mean to disrespect you, but you usually know the next comment is going to be there. It's something disrespectful. But she does Zoe, she does Roxanne, Gigi Dolan, and then she brings the bad Barbie, Tiffany Stratton in there. And then she brings Valkyria, the Laura Valkyria, in. And then, of course, Indy Hartwell, the champ. All right. So, apparently the one that took the most offense is Valkyria. And she comes out and hey, look, Cora does it like she should. She slaps her. And which proceeds to get a kick upside the head. Sick kick upside the head. But yeah, she kicks her upside the head, and that is where that ends. So we've got an upcoming match, of course. But then we have Von Wagner with Mr. Stone. But we have Von Wagner versus Dragunov. You know what you always know what you're going to get with Dragunov. He is freaking great. Him and JD, either one of them, a push is needed. I mean, they're so good that they're getting everybody else over, but man, don't overlook talent like that. But Anyway, in this match, if Von Wagner loses, his services with Mr. Stone as his manager are done. And that's per Mr. Stone. So they come out in this match, and man, Von comes out big time. He of course, Dragunov is never known for his first 2 minutes of work, but he runs into a big kick upside the head. But yeah, he runs into a big one, big boot upside the head, and he gets a good start. He's actually doing really, really good. But to really just kind of put this match into perspective, Von is going to lose, and Mr. Stone says he's done. He's out of there. And I could sit here and talk for 4 or 5 minutes about Dragunov, because man, whenever you see this man, he is just freaking fantastic. But in this match, the story that they're building after this is, everybody knows that Dragunov loves the pain. Well, at the end of the match, we have a Dijak sighting. Dijak. I don't like that one. So he comes into the ring and pretty much says, you like pain? Well, I'm going to make you immortal. So that's where you got it. You got a quick little Tank and Hank promo, and then you go into Tank's match with Joe Coffey and the Gallows Boys. Now Tank is a Division I, football player, a team captain, a Big Ten. Looks a lot like Bill DeMont. His first match gets a couple moves. But the best thing I can say in this is, at one point in time, they're all locked up. Their arms are locked up, and a lot of times you'd think a headbutt or something like that. But Joe Coffey, he leans in and just puts the sweat off his body all up in Tank's eyes. That's old school. And of course he wins, and then of course the Creed brothers are going to come out, and then you got Schism coming out. So you got hell breaking loose. And then, you got Tony D and Stax kind of chilling. They're kind of chilling. And Roxanne, pops in. And hey, they're letting Roxanne know that, hey, they're kind of fans, and she ever needs any help, but then Zoe Stark shows up. And she, they have a little confrontation. So, Roxanne lets her know that they're trying to bring mental health aspect into a little bit there, and that's a slippery slope to bring in, but we'll see how they take it. But yes, there's going to be a match, but then but then you had Pretty Deadly showing up, and they put a whooping on Stax and Tony D. But now, that was all good. Everything was, I'm okay with everything. But here is the deal I have to explain. Now, I ran nightclubs and restaurants for over 30 years, and have been in situations to where I've been on the let's just say the winning side and the losing side. And I've had the losing side. I understand that. But never in my time, all the clubs, never has anybody attacked me or has beaten me with pink pants on. Come on, man. You can't get your butt whooped by a guy with pink pants. All right, but anyway, all right, so they do. They carry on from there. All right, so that is where that is. They go into the fatal four-way for the spot against Mello. And you got Waller, Dragon Lee, J.D. McDonough, and Duke Hudson. And this match is pretty good. This is pretty good because I'm just saying, you put Dragon Lee in anything right now, and I think he makes it look freaking great. J.D. is just man, if he was 5 or 6 inches taller, he would be as big as anybody in the world. He is that good. And I don't care. And normally I'm not trying to say a bias against people under 6 foot or whatever, but this guy brings it. Him and Dragunov from the European days over there with NXT, man, they're just great. And then Waller is Waller. He's a baller. Vanilla Ice in the remake. Good match. Good match. And at one point in time, you really think that Dragon Lee has got it. And then Duke at one time even does the Hulk up. He hulks up, and it's just they all do their whole little skill, but it goes down to Waller slipping in at the last minute and winning it. So, hey, look, it's setting up for that. And Waller gets out of the ring. He drinks out of his boot, and then Mello comes up, and they're talking personal hygiene and stuff, and then the camera goes off. So there we go with this week's review. So this is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor, and if you can, rescue. And as always, spay and neuter. And this is Memphis Mark, and you know what? I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.